Well, today I'm here to discuss about task scheduling in embedded system and basically the numericals behind it. So before that, let's discuss about some theories. So basically we have a CPU scheduler, okay, CPU scheduler whose task is to, whose responsibility is to allot processes to CPU whenever CPU scheduler finds the CPU in idle state. Okay, that is, whenever it finds that CPU is doing nothing, at that moment CPU scheduler assigns or allot the process to CPU, right? Okay. CPU scheduler actually selects the process, that is the process. There could be many processes, P1, P2, P3, right, up to Pn. It selects the process from the queue and allot the process to CPU, right? And this is basically done in two manners. First is non-preemptive fashion or manner. That is, under this we can find first come, first serve, shortest job first, priority based scheduling, or in preemptive version or algorithm or fashion, anything you can say. There is round robin fashion. You have priority based scheduling, or you have shortest job first. CPU scheduler selects the process from these appropriate cases, that is first come first serve. The selection of process could be by the one which have arrived first, or the one whose execution time is short, that is shortest job first, or the one with the highest priority, or it could be in round robin fashion, but this round robin fashion is only in the preemptive version. Well, we'll discuss this one by one, but today we'll discuss about priority based scheduling, both from non-preemptive version and preemptive version. But before that, let's understand what non-preemptive version has to say and what preemptive version has to say. Okay, first let's see what is non-preemptive version. Once the CPU scheduler allots the process any process to CPU, the CPU will execute the process entirely, that is completely, till the execution time or till the estimated completion time. No matter anything else is in queue, it will complete its process, only then it will take another process, right? But in preemptive version, this is not the case. In preemptive version, once the process is allotted to CPU, the process might switch its state. That is, it might go from running to ready or from waiting to ready state. Let's understand this by an example. It will be clear to you. Okay. So the question says 3 processes P1, P2, P3 with estimated completion time 10, 5 and 7 millisecond and priorities 0, 3 and 2. 0 highest priority and 3 as lowest priority respectively enters the ready queue together. If a new process P4 with estimated completion time of 6 millisecond and priority 1 enters the ready queue after 5 millisecond of execution of P1, calculate the average turnaround time and average waiting time. Let's do it. Let's insert a table. Before that, 3 and okay, I think this will be enough. First table will be for process number. How many processes are there? P1, P2, P3 and P4. Okay, P1, P2, P3 and P4, right? Okay, now what are the estimated completion time, or also known as burst time? Okay, what are the estimated completion time for P1? 10, for P2 5, for P3 7 and for P4 that is 6, right? Okay, what is the arrival time? Arrival time, that is which process arrived when, right? Okay, so read the question again. 3 processes P1, P2, P3 with estimated completion time 10, 5 and 7 millisecond with priorities respectively enters the ready queue together. These 3 processes enters the ready queue together. That is, the arrival time of these 3 processes would be 0, 0 and 0. Now, if a new process P4 with estimated completion time 6 millisecond and priority 1 enters the ready queue after 5 millisecond of execution of P1, that is its arrival time is 5. That is because how did we find? Because it says enters the ready queue. It enters the ready queue after 5 millisecond of execution of P1. So this 5 millisecond says that it has arrived after 5 millisecond of execution of P1, right? Okay, now priorities are priorities are 0, 3, 2 and 1, right? Okay, now arrival time done, estimated completion time. Now let's construct a this is the question. Now let's construct a Gantt chart for this, and according to question, right? Now for this this is the non-preemptive version. So for this thing, so for 4 processes will need 4 boxes. That should be clear to you. Okay, because this is non-preemptive version, so for 4 boxes will need 4 4 boxes for 4 processes, right? Okay, first is in this ready queue there is 3 processes with arrival time 0, right? So let's see the priorities 0, 3 and 2. Which is of the highest priority? 0 is of highest priority, so no doubt P1 will be executed first, right? P1 will be executed first. Since this is the non-preemptive version, so it will be executed from 0 to its completion, that is 10, right? Okay. Now there comes C. From 0 to 10, 5 has already come in between, right? 5 has already come in between, because after 5 milliseconds you'll find a new process. Now in queue you have P2, P3 and P4. Because P4 has the highest priority, that is among these 3, P4 has the highest priority. So P4 will be executed next, right? Okay, P4 will be executed next till 6 millisecond. That is, it will give you 16. 10 plus 6, 16. Now you'll have, after P4, you will have P3. That is because it has the priority 2, that is higher than P2. So P3. Now it will be executed till 7 millisecond, that is 16 plus 7, you'll have 23. Now after this, P2 will be executed till 5 millisecond, and that will give you 28, right? Okay, this is the figure Gantt chart. Now this figure will answer many of your questions, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 boxes you'll require, 3 and 5. Okay, let's take this one. Okay, let's try it again. Process number P1, P2, P3, P4 with estimated completion time of 10, 5, 7 and 6, 10, 5, 7 and 6. Now we have arrival time 0, 0, 0 and 5, and priorities is 0, 3, 2, 0, 3, 2 and 1. Okay, now let's see the completion time of these processes. For completion time, just remember that start from the end so that you will get the correct answer. That is, for P2 you have 28. It has completed after 28 millisecond. Okay, now for P3 you have 23 milliseconds, and for P4 you have 16 milliseconds, and for P1 is completed at 10. Now let's find out the turn around time turnaround time is basically the completion time minus estimated completion time. It's the easy way to find out. Completion time is 10 minus 10, that is P1. Sorry, I'm really sorry. Completion time minus arrival time. Okay. Now completion time minus arrival, that is 10 for this, 28 for this, 23 for this, and what is this? 16 minus 5, that is 11 for this, right? Now let's find out the waiting time. Waiting time for this. Waiting time is actually the turnaround time. Turnaround time minus completion time, right? Okay. Let's delete this. Okay. Waiting time is turnaround time minus completion time. Sorry, this is estimated completion time. Okay. Now see what is the turnaround time minus estimated completion time, that is 0 for this, 28 minus 5, that is 23 for this, and 23 minus 7 for this, that is 23 minus 7 will give you 16, and for P4 it's 11 minus 6, that is 5 for this, right? Okay, now what is the average turnaround time? Average turnaround time is turnaround time 10 turnaround time by number of processes. Okay, now let's see this. That is equal to 10 plus 28 plus 23 plus 11 by 4. This are turnaround time. So we have 72 by 4, and the answer is 80 millisecond. Now what is the average waiting time? Average waiting time is waiting time by 4. Waiting time is 0 plus 23 plus 16 plus 5, right, by 4, and that will give you 44 by 4, and the answer is 11 millisecond, right? We can also see from Gantt chart that P1 has started at 0 and ended at 10, but from question says that P4 arrives at 5 millisecond. So after 5 millisecond P4 was to execute, but because this is non-preempted, it completed its execution time, its task till execution time, and P4 has to wait about 5 milliseconds. So 5 milliseconds, P4 has waited till 5 milliseconds, and P3 has waited till 16, and P2 has waited till 23, because these were the processes which were arrived at the beginning 0 and were about to execute at first, but due to the priority it has to wait till this much. Okay, let's see this question from preemptive version. We have just copied the box, and let's see the question. I have made a bit of changes in the question. That is, I have changed the priorities with 1 here and 0 here. Okay, now the question is 3 processes P1, P2, P3 with estimated completion time 10, 5, 7 millisecond and priorities 1, 3 and 2 with 0 highest priority and 3 lowest priority respectively enters the ready queue together. If a new process P4 with estimated completion time of 6 millisecond and with priority 0 enters the ready queue together, ready queue after 5 millisecond of execution of P1. Calculate the average turnaround time and average waiting time. So Gantt chart is like this. First, we have no option because the arrival time of these we have 3 processes and the arrival time of these 3 processes are 0. So the one with highest priority is to be executed first. 0 to 5 will execute this process till 5 because this is a preemptive version. And after 5 milliseconds, we found that the P4 has arrived. After 5 milliseconds, we have found that P4 has arrived and the priority of P4 is 0. So we'll execute P4 next because it has the highest priority till its estimated completion time, that is till 11, because 5 we have already run and 5 plus 6 is 11. Okay, next we have 3 processes P1, P2, P3 again. Now which one has the highest priority? P1 has the highest priority. It has executed only up to 5 milliseconds and hence 5 is left. So we'll execute it again for 5 milliseconds, that is P1 for 16 till 16, right? Okay, now next we have P3 with highest priority, so we'll execute P3 till 16 plus 7, that is 23, and 23 plus P2, 23 plus 5, that is 28, right? Okay. Now completion time of P2 is 28, right? Okay, and P3 is 23, right? Okay, and P1 is 16. P1 is 16 and P4 is 11, right? Okay, sorry, 0 and P1 is 11. Okay, TAT is, now TAT will also change. TAT will be CT minus AT, that is 23, 10, 23. Okay, this will be 16, 28, 23, and this will be 6, right? Okay, now waiting time would be TAT minus ECT, that is 6 for this, and 28 minus 5, 23, 23 minus 7 would be 16, and this will give you 0. and this is the answer. Average turnaround time you can calculate as 16 plus 28 plus 16 plus 0. Sorry, I think I have made mistake. It's 28 plus 23 and 6, right, by 4 is our average turnaround time, and average waiting time is 6 plus 23 plus 16 plus 0 by 4. Okay, this is the end of lecture, and I hope you guys understand this. Okay, thank you so much.